wrote a blog, I think probably about a year ago, where I talked about there being two sides to the valproate coin. Um, and on the one hand, you have those harmed by valproate and the families and the parents, and the campaigning that went into the Cumberledge report and stuff is fantastic. And I by no means sit here and take away from those harmed and those who weren't informed. Nobody is saying that that should have happened. Nobody is saying that, valproate should be prescribed in pregnancy. What I'm saying is you should be given all the choices, but being given the choices, you should then be allowed to make decisions, informed decisions. Nobody's talking about making snap decisions, and I don't think anybody with epilepsy on medication ever makes a snap decision because it's not that simple. But I speak to women up and down the country who are much like in the situation that I'm in, women who are intelligent, are educated to degree level, yet they are made to feel lesser than because they're not allowed to make decisions about their own medical care. And again, these are either people who have had their children, don't want children, actually, they want a life that's seizure free as opposed to a child, like they can't even consider children because their seizures are just not controlled because they're not allowed to take the medication that has done that. And that, I think that's the missing piece to this whole puzzle. You do have those that have been harmed and those that were never informed, and it's right that their voices are heard. But the flip side to that coin is those that this is a drug that does allow women and men to live their life. And it's not just something that's taken for, you know, morning sickness or whatever it may have been. It is a drug that saves lives and allows people to live their life. And I don't think it's right to demonize it in the way it has been because it's not as black and white as that. And I think that message is being lost, albeit it's an important message about what has happened with valproate, but that shouldn't drown out the voices of the women that are coming to me and feeling that they're not being heard and they're not being supported, because actually the second you mention valproate, everyone goes, oh, and actually that's not fair. I think that's valproate is a good medication for controlling seizures, and that is the bottom line. And the message should be that we allow women all of the information to make informed decisions. We shouldn't be dictating to women what they should be taking. Those that have been harmed by valproate, I've always said this, we never take away from that. It's not right, it's not okay. And I absolutely back the calls for there to be compensation for the victims of valproate. But like I said, it's the tale of two sides. And one doesn't diminish the other. So yes, let's absolutely have this conversation about the Cumberledge report and, compensation for the victims and where we go from here. But let's also have that conversation about women like myself, women who have had their families, don't want families, or actually that doesn't even figure, but want the right to choose, want the right to be able to live their life as they see fit. How are we getting to a point that we're dictating to women what they can and can't take? This is a licensed medication. We're not talking about taking something that's not approved. This is an approved medication, and by all accounts, like I said, a very good medication for seizures. And they are two separate but opposite sides of the same coin, and that needs to be addressed, and it's not being addressed right now.